Hello, hello, welcome back. And we're going to go through Lynn Chapter 7, Siblings Abroad. So in this chapter, we're going to encounter pretty much the rest of the weapon triangle for magic. Oh yeah, we also get like a flute playing guy or something like that. He's pretty important too, you know, for plot and stuff. I think. Mister, you don't understand. It's because I have teal hair. So you can take a guess who's going to join us this chapter. Now, see, Sane, you didn't have to say that, did you? You really didn't have to. Why is it that everyone always tempts fate? I don't understand. But he has teal hair. He can't be that dangerous. And of course, oh yes, of course. My lady, why? Why are you helping a little boy? Sane's probably thinking to himself, yes, a hot chick. And no sooner than he says that, of course they show up. Who do you think you are? I wonder how many times that phrase will be edited, or will be mentioned throughout this story. It's already been mentioned twice. So this chapter has a special condition. If you can beat this chapter, or finish the chapter, I'll explain it later actually. So This chapter introduces you to combat preparations, and this is really important. This is a very important feature especially as your army gets bigger and bigger. So I'll explain combat preparation. So here we are. This is a combat preparation screen. As you can see above, it shows the objective. So Chapter 7 shows the objective. Defeat Heinz. That's the objective. So the chapter is beaten once you've defeated Heinz in this case. So you have 5 major options here. You can pick units, so you can choose which units are going to actually be in the battle. So notice if I go to the map, you'll see that there are certain spaces for units, and that denotes the number of units you can take and where they can be placed on the battlefield. You can also just view the map. So you can see, there's a village over here. You can look at all the enemies that are going to be on the map. But it won't show you reinforcements, of course. That's no fun. So here's the boss. Here's Heinz. He's a shaman. So he uses dark magic. So dark magic is like the magic equivalent of axes. It's the strongest magic, but it's also, harder to hit with. It's heavier. Yes, magic has weight, which is a little bit amazing. Books weigh a lot, apparently. So, so this is the map. You can choose to change formation of people, except for units that are required to come. You can't change their position. So Lin is required in this chapter, and you can only swap units that aren't required. So let's go back. You can pick actual units. So Lin's required. Can't do anything about that. I don't want to bring Dorcas, so I'll bring Matthew instead. So now I have the full 8 units that I can bring for this chapter. And if I wanted to, I could bring no one but Lin. And she would be forced to go through the whole chapter by herself. And that's not something we really want to do, so we're going to go ahead and bring... There we go. So this is the gang. You can trade items with units. That's particularly handy. So you'll notice that Matthew has no vulnerary. So I'm going to trade Dorcas's vulnerary to Matthew. So now he has a way to heal himself. And we'll do the same for Urk. Wrath is particularly high level. He's a level 7 nomad. So I'm going to give Urk the chance. He's only level 3. So I'm going to give Urk the chance to gain experience and level up in this case. So this is also a way for you to trade other items between units, not just vulneraries, but our crew is so small right now that we don't really have to worry about that at the time. Fortune is an option that you get once you require Hannah the Fortune Teller in Ella Wood's or Hector's story, or if you acquire another secret unit that will be made apparent later on in Ella Wood's and Hector's story that can also do the same thing. So this is a good way for you to tell which units are compatible, so for supports, and it will also give you hints as to which units you may or may not want to bring into a chapter. For the sake of recruiting, or just because, there are a lot of lance enemies in this chapter. You should bring an axe user, so things like that are what will come out of the fortune. You can also see the tactician's rating once you get the fortune teller, but this is something that you get later as well, so we won't bother with that right now. Check map is what I just did. It lets you, look at the map. You can change the formation of your allies. You can start the battle by pressing start. You can view the whole map. You view options, so this is where you can change all the options outside of battle, which is great. This is where you can save your game before you begin the actual battle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to save over Chapter 5. So there's that. You can also save from the main menu. And as soon as you're ready, you press start to fight. So I'm going to actually change the formation of my units. I'm going to use Florina as an airplane, basically, and fly over a unit down here to speed the chapter up a little bit. So you'll notice that this archer he's quite far away, but I want to see if I can kill him on the first turn. So I'll send 2 of my units over to kill him. Urk should have... Yeah, Urk has range. But he'll be counterattacked, so we have to be careful about that. Actually, we'll send... No, that's fine. That's fine. So there's going to be some plot-related stuff that happens, but otherwise I'm not too worried about this. So if you beat the boss, Heinz, fast enough, you'll unlock a secret mission. They're called Gaiden chapters. Gaiden. Gaiden, I believe. But they're like the extra bonus chapters. So we'll unlock chapter 7X. If we can beat this guy within, I think it's like 15 turns or 10 turns. It's plenty of time. So we're not worried about that. So we'll go ahead and save one more time. And we'll start. So cue the plot-related stuff. Hey, it's a... That guy? Is it a guy or is it a girl? It's a... He's a monk. So he's gotta be a guy. I think. Okay, his name is Lucius. He has to be a guy. One of the things about this character is that plenty of players mistake him for being a girl, especially if you skip through the text really fast. He looks every bit a girl, but he's not a girl. But he is very nice, and he is an incredibly powerful unit. So we're gonna boost Lucius up. He's almost consistently good throughout every playthrough. So here's where we get into the magic weapon triangle. You'll find that is not quite true as your units become stronger and stronger. You can pretty much just puncture anyone with magic later. Especially if you're a shaman and you have a very, very amazingly powerful tome called Luna. But I'll talk about that later. I still have Lucius attack. So you'll see Lucius has lightning, which is horribly misnamed, but it's basically light magic. And it's strong against dark magic. It's like the sword equivalent in the physical weapon triangle. You'll see just how very effective light magic is. I have animations turned off, so I'll have to change that. Yeah, so he plays music and hops around and spins, and basically what it does is... Oh, I'm sure it'll explain it here. So, the bard will let a unit that's already moved, that's turned gray on the map, it'll let them move again. So let me change the animations. Let's turn them off for Urk, not for Sarah. And we'll show off Nils and Lucius. And also Matthew. I don't think we showed Matthew. So... we'll play for Lucius. And so just like that, Lucius is now able to move again. Right, so every time Nils uses his power, he gets 10 experience. He's a level 1 bard right now. In order to unlock a very, very hard to get chapter, an extra chapter, a Gaiden chapter, basically, in Hector's story. You have to raise Nils at least to level 7 in Lynn's story. So I'm going to be abusing him, not in that way, not in the physical way, of course, but I'm going to be using his power as many turns as I can, because I need to get him to level 17, or level 7, in order to show you, you know, the most this game has to offer. So that's my hope. Let's see here. I want to kill this archer. But Urk is way too strong. So we're going to let Matthew get some experience in here. So he's very fast, as obviously as is indicated. So kill that guy off. So I'm going to ship Lucius down here, but for now I'm going to have Lucius kill this shaman. Actually, I'm going to move him here. So the magic weapon triangle is light is like swords, anima, which is Urk's, or nature magic, as they call it in this game, is like lances, and dark magic is like axes. So you can guess the weapon triangle order in that way. So we're going to heal. I'm going to get the most experience I can, so I'm going to heal Lucius really quickly. He can basically solo this boss, so we're not going to worry too much about that. So we'll rescue Lucius and fly down here. We'll rush our cavaliers over. Actually, let's visit all the houses. I guess we can do that. We can afford to visit houses. I probably won't visit too many houses in the future, but I'll try to show as many as I can remember to do, because usually when I play through a game I know it all, and I don't really bother with the houses, so... So this music playing right now is the sort of the theme of the Black Fang. It's a pretty creepy tune, actually. I like it a lot. So we'll have Kent visit. Actually, we'll have Sane visit the house. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So there's a snag, and I'll talk about it more when I get to actually breaking it. It's a conspicuous game hint. So here's I think it's called a shop. No, it's a vendor. It's called a vendor. So we visited armories in the past. This is a vendor. Vendor usually sells things like healing items, vulneraries. Sometimes they sell elixirs, but that's mostly later in the game. Elixirs are like vulneraries, but they heal all your health. So here's where you can buy healing items, special items like door keys or chest keys. You can also buy staves and magic here. So we can actually afford to buy a heal staff. I'll probably need one. And I think Urk might need fire, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to hold off on getting fire. So we'll move Lynn as well, this way. So they're moving in. Enemies are moving in on us. And we have an advantageous position right here at the fort. But because we're pressed for time, we want to really get a move on. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to have Florina drop Lucius right... Let's see. This shaman will attack. So I'm going to have Lucius dropped right here. And then I'll have Nils give Florina a chance to move again. So she can attack the snag. after this chapter, I'll try to turn off the animation for Nils. Such happy music. Really, it is. So, we'll send Sarah this way. So, Florina is protected from counterattack if she sits right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit her right here and have her work on breaking this snag. That way Lucius can just walk across himself. So move. Let's see if we can whittle this guy down in some way. Sit Urk on the mountain. That's pretty safe. But you notice that Urk will also be vulnerable to counterattack right here. So we have to be mindful of that. Mountains are not completely safe, is the point. Alright, so now it's Matthew's turn to get a kill. He is lightning fast, so axe users have almost no chance to hit him. Great, so we got an iron lance. Is anyone's lance... So, I don't know, we don't really need that at this point, so we're not going to worry about that. This is a choke point, we need to get our units moving quickly, so I'm going to approach this mercenary. I'm going to engage him with Kent. So I'll block off all potential exits, or entrances, or whatever you want to call it. So he'll be there. And we'll send Lynn this way. And Sane... Oh, he is just enough to get through. Excellent. So we'll sit Sane here. And let the enemies do their thing. There we go. So we'll speed things up by letting the Shaman do some engaging on Lucius. There's a critical hit! And that wiped him out in one round. One thing I want to note is that if you get a killing blow against an enemy, so Lucius has got a killing blow, so you gain, so earlier weapon levels were talked about, and how you use, you know, weapons or magic or staves or whatever, to, as you use them, you gain more proficiency in them, essentially, and it lets you use stronger magic, or magic that's ranked higher. So lightning is the lowest level magic. It's actually, I actually tend to use lightning more than its you know, its more powerful version, which is called shine. So I prefer lightning because it's light, it's accurate. So light magic is very, very accurate. It's even more accurate than the iron sword, and it also gives critical, which is very potent. So back to what I was saying, weapon levels. So you'll see here that Lucius has a D in weapon in light magic, and it goes up slowly as you use light magic more often. But if you get a killing blow against an enemy, you actually get double the weapon experience. So your weapon level will increase twice as much as it would as if you just used it regularly if you get a kill. So that's important to note. So we're going to break the snag. So now Lucius can move across. He could engage the boss, but we're not actually going to engage him yet. We're going to engage him as soon as we've killed off all these other enemies. So right now we're going to send Kent to visit the village. You're kind of wrong there, old man. You can dodge him. Yeah, so Pegasus Knights are usually well known for their magic resistance as well. And here's a particularly useful item. It's called Pure Water, and it lets you basically. It does the same thing as, so there's a staff called Barrier. Anyone who uses the Barrier staff on an ally will give them +7 resistance on the turn that they use it, and it will wear off 1 resistance every other turn afterwards. Pure Water basically does the same thing, but in item form. So you'll notice here, I've received too many items. Way too many items. And we're going to... I actually want to discard Pure Water because I'm not worried about magic. But we're going to use it, and I'm going to discard this Vulnerary. Because we have a healer, we're not too concerned about Vulneraries or any of that. So, you'll notice that this Brigand is in a very good position. And we don't like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to... I don't like this. We're going to send in our units, so we're going to Will get in a cheap shot. Actually, we're going to let Will get the kill. Oh, he's higher level than Lyn. Oh, wow. So we're going to let Lyn get the kill in this case. She's not strong enough, so we'll use the Manicotti. There we go. So we buffed her health earlier, so she's fairly strong and durable, so we're not worried about that. So notice a Brigand can move in the mountains here. So we don't want to put someone here, even though we have a very good chance of avoiding everyone. So I'm going to put Matthew in the forest. He's particularly agile. Although chances are good, enemies are going to want to target Lyn, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. So the mercenary is probably going to move in range next turn. And knowing that, we're going to put Urk right here. We're actually going to send Sane this way as well, because Cavaliers can't cross mountains. So we'll move Will. Oh, so we have Nils here. So we notice that Nils is not really in range to help anyone, but I'm going to make Sarah stay here so that I can afford to use Nils to give him more experience. Then I'll move her forward. So now she can move again. And I'll move Will, and that'll be that. There's our critical. 20% critical chance is very high. So Lyn will be destroying stuff. Now you notice here, the Brigand jumped on the mountain. So it's a question of, do you want to engage against these enemies here? You also notice that there's a mage here. He's particularly weak. He actually only has one magic. So he's not... I'm not worried about the magician at all. So we're going to engage on the mountains here. You notice, look at my hit. It has dropped considerably. And yet I somehow managed to hit him. So now Urk is vulnerable to up-close attacks. We don't like this. But what we can do is I can use Sane to strike at this mercenary from afar. You'll notice the mercenary is on nothing. So we're going to go ahead and have Sane engage. And miss, apparently. That's okay. So Sane is very tough. He's not going down anytime soon, so we're not worried about that. Meanwhile, we'll move Kent straight down here, and he'll be in range of the mage. So Kent has fairly good resistance. We're going to give him a javelin. This is why I bought the javelins. We're going to give Kent a javelin, that way he can counterattack the mage. And we'll send Matthew down this way as well. So we'll sit Lyn here, so she can engage next turn. As she should be. I hope so. Put Will here. So we want to watch Nils, make sure that he's in range. I'm just going to turn his animation off right now, because his animation can get pretty annoying. It's not really awesome or anything. Oops. So give Sarah another chance to move. And move her there. So now meanwhile, down here, I can actually have Florina engage if I want to. That's not a bad idea. I think I'll do that. In the meantime, I'll send Lucius over here. I'm trying to think of a good place for him to sit. where he doesn't have to fight off enemies in the forest. But it looks like I don't have a choice, so I'm just going to sit him right here, and he'll be vulnerable to attacks on 2 fronts. As you can see, we are not concerned about that at all whatsoever. But we risk killing the boss early, so I'm just going to have him wait here. And then I'll have Florina run in, or fly in, later on to do some damage. So you notice that the goal of this chapter is not to seize this fortress. It's actually to kill the boss. So there's dark magic. So Lucius has the chance to kill this guy. Oh, that's funny. So Sane misses. Oops, I put Florina in range. Sane misses when the mercenary's not on the mountain, but he hits when he's on the mountain, which is kind of funny. So now if we're lucky, we'll be able to kill off this guy. But as you can see, I don't have a good chance of hitting him. But we can give it a try anyway. Excellent. So there's that. So now we can counterattack this mage. We're going to attack this mage. Actually, Sane will kill him. So we're going to send Lyn this way. And we'll have Will get in his shot. And then Sane get the kill, hopefully, if he hits. There we go. Great. So we'll heal Lyn. So we've now killed off pretty much every enemy here. I'm going to have Lucius just sit here and kill this guy, almost. Yeah, dark magic takes a little bit of... Shamans take a while to wind up their magic, which is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. Light magic is really cool, so that makes up for it. And we'll have Florina get the killing blow. So now all that's left is the enemy boss. We're gonna have Kent visit this village. We're gonna encounter a familiar face, or at least that will become familiar once we reach Ellawood or Hector's story. In this case, Hector's story. So this is Hector. It's kind of a early introduction. He's a friend. He's a very close friend of Ellawood's, as you can tell. And he's an axe user. So this is sort of foreshadowing or introducing one of the heroes particularly early. So Hector's a lord, and he uses the axe. He's an exception to most lords that usually use swords, but he's a very interesting character, and I'll talk more about him as the time comes. So we're just going to sit here. We're going to heal what we can, just to squeeze every drop of experience we possibly can out. Have Nils play. So we got to raise his level, and now we're going to move in against this boss and actually try to kill him. And Lucius is perfect for the job. So we'll let Lucius whittle him down one more time, and then I'll try to send Florina in for the kill. What level is she? She's level 5. Actually, I'll just let Lucius get the kill himself. Maybe I can get Matthew to get the kill. We'll see. So yeah, if you beat this boss fast enough, and you'll know at the end of this chapter if you did or not. I think if you beat him within, I think it's either 10 or 15 turns. I think it's 15, then you get an extra mission of sorts. So Matthew doesn't have range, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to get the kill Florina. Actually, I'll just let Lucius get the kill, because Lucius is awesome. And there we go. So he dies. Lucius levels up. Lucius is particularly strong. His growth rates are very high in the places that they need to be high. So he's one of the more consistent mages, even though he starts out at a relatively low level. So I'm not worried about Lucius at all. But I am worried about Urk. So we'll see how Urk turns out. So Ninian, Nils' sister, is gone. What if they've already done horrible, cruel things to her? What if they've turned her into a zombie? She's no longer my... Oh, what's this? Hey! Look who it is. It's the protagonist of Ellawood's story. Ellawood himself. So his father is Marquis Feyre, and so he's basically the Prince of Feyre. So hey, we met all the lords by now. We met Hector earlier, and this is why Ellawood was late. So he was busy rescuing Nils' sister. And the screen turns black as Lynn explains to Ellawood. That's how all the games do it. And it's fine. So Ellawood's he's a really great guy. He's gonna help Lynn several times throughout the game. Thank you, but the plot demands. This is Lynn's story after all. Sorry, buddy. So Ellawood's a really good dude. He's the well-rounded lord. Lynn is particularly fast and accurate, but is more frail. Ellawood is kind of... Hector is the brute. He's like a knight, but with an axe. So he's pretty slow usually, but he's strong and he's very, very durable. Ellawood kind of strikes a balance between those two. So this is kind of Ninian's theme, I guess. She dances. You can guess. Right on time. My other dance, the sexy tease dance I have. Oh, I guess not. It's too dangerous. We're being hunted. Wow, look who you're talking to. Hello, Pot. Yes? Who is it? This is Kettle. I just want to let you know that you're black. Our special talents. Gosh, could they make it any more obvious? Oh, never mind. I was thinking something, more sexual, but I suppose that works too. That's a good, honest answer. We all know what Sane's answer is going to be. No, not the ring. So the ring is called Ninny's Grace. Ninny's was her, I think her mother. Or it's, no, Ninny's is some, I don't remember off the top of my head. I should know this. But Ninny's is some sort of, I think she's either a deity. Yeah, I think she's a deity. And so that's what the ring is named after. Oh, there's nothing we can do. Well. Oh, please. So here's where the game explains to you what side quests are. Gaiden chapters. Or Gaiden, I don't know how to pronounce it. Someone out there probably just cried at my pronunciation of Gaiden, or Gaiden, whatever it is. So we're gonna reach every side quest we possibly can in this story, in my whole playthrough of this. They're honestly, some of them are very hard, but this one is not particularly difficult. But side quests also give you an excuse to get more experience, so we are definitely going to embark on this side quest. And just like that, that's the end of the chapter. So, next chapter is, we're going to be treated to more appearances of the Black Fang. So stay tuned and please tune in next time.